welcome to the new trucking standard brought to you by the Federation of Professional Truckers. We're here to rebuild the industry from the driver's seat through real talk, shared stories, and straight up education. Glad to have you rolling with us. Now let's hammer down.
Hey,
Hey,
we're
all
gonna
right.
need it for this.
We're rocking and rolling here. We're rocking and rolling. Oh, boy. If you all would have been on the conversation before this thing got started. So, anyways, welcome to the new trucking standard, folks, brought to you by the Federation of Professional Truckers. You got the Northman over here. You got Cupcake. We're going to, I think today's topics, we're going to kind of talk about this FMCSA exemption petition that we've got it going on in comment period right now. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the petition we got going for
Change.org.
The remover of the touchers at change.org. Basically, we have a petition there that is going to make it to where that there's a lifetime ban on anybody that has a felony with a tier 1, 2, or 3 type designation. We know the states are a little different, but it's basically something to be put in front of Congress because we do need to change up that 383.51. So with that, though, man, I'm going to let you fire this thing up here, man. I'm going to sit here and be quiet for a bit.
Folks, listen, before we get into this, if you're listening to this with your kids today, just be careful. When we get to this part about these sexually dangerous people, please listen with discretion. Both Mike and I are going to get probably very passionate about this. This is something that is more under our skin than any needle can be. And we're taking this very seriously, so we may get very serious about this topic. So, just be watchful, who's standing there, what little ears are paying attention. That is for you to have a discussion with them at a later date, not for him and I to educate them on what's going on in the world. With that being said, welcome to the FOPT. Something I want to remind everybody is the Federation was designed in a way that outdoes or outcompares to other organizations like us. Mike and I are both truck drivers. Mike's got almost 30 years in. I've got almost 27 now. The amount of miles that him and I have turned over the years, I think we've been to the moon and back probably close to 50 different times. And if you run those numbers, that's pretty significant. But we had come together with this idea that something different has to be done. We have organizations out here that are preying on truck drivers. We have organizations out here that are preying on communities. So we took both those things as truck drivers and combined the two, and we created a Federation of Professional Truckers that, and our logo from our seats to the communities we serve is very clearly stated. We don't want to do just this for just our trucking industry, for our community, our brothers and sisters out here, but for each and every one of you at home. It's very important that we reignite the camaraderie between the communities we serve and the truck drivers. There's a lot that goes on in the industry that also affects the communities that we serve, and vice versa. What's going on with you guys affects us. So stay tuned today. It's going to be a good show. If you have any questions, please reach out. www.wethefopt@gmail or www.wethefopt.org for our website. You can reach out that way, or you can send us an email at wethefopt@gmail.com. Sorry, got a little stutter there. With that said, this is, hey, listen, and folks, don't let this fool you. I'm in my truck. This is my cave that we're in right now. Mike, gratefully, is at home where he's got a better internet connection, or we'd be staggering through this whole thing with both of us on the road. So, with all that being said, I'm really sorry you missed the laughter in before we got this started. Maybe we can pick that up again in a little while. We might need it, folks.
I think we'll get banned. I think we might get banned or bananas, as they would say, if we some of the stuff that we were talking about there. And to be honest, I think Sheila and Bobby would probably also ban us as well.
Our
so
podcast would be over.
We wouldn't be back at the house for a long time, I'm sure. So,
what we're going to get into, we're going to...
Speaking of, see the little, I've got her right here behind me. That
she's already got the eyebrow.
That's that evil little minion look right there.
She's already got the eyebrows cocked, and she's going, yeah, okay. I would get the same look from Sheila if she was her.
By the way, folks, that's the secretary of the Federation of Professional Truckers back there, Bobby Houck.
So, she's doing a fantastic job.
She just got home from work, just kind of chilling out with me tonight.
We're going to dive right into this FMCSA that we've got going on right now, one of our exemption letters. And folks, I want to let you know, if you're a truck driver, we have exemption. We have letters out to Department of Labor, to the FCC, to FMCSA, to the Department of Transportation. And this is the first of many that we're waiting on comment periods. This is just the first one to come through. So if anybody happens to tell you, well, this is just this is the only thing they pulled off, it's actually not. It's just the first one that FMCSA has allowed a comment period on. So we're still waiting to hear a comment period back on an hours of service modification, which we'll talk about later if it comes up for comment period. But we're going to talk about FMCSA -2025-1282. I had to write it down, so I made sure I got that right. And that is the current exemption letter that we have in the FMCSA, written by yours truly, right there on the other side in the other frame, Mike Cobb, our CEO, for a exemption to allow both ELDs and logbooks, and the choice, and we're gonna talk a lot about that right there, and the choice to use either one. With that, Mike.
That's the biggest thing that we need to reiterate is that this is about choice. I've seen a lot of stuff come through different comments on other people's platforms that are talking about the exemption period. I do thank any of those creators that are trying to help push this comment period for us. That is much appreciated, all of you. The thing is, I've seen though is a lot of people have said that this is never going to go through, or I've heard the other that they're trying to remove the ELD. No, this is not a removal of the ELD. This is to give carriers the choice of whether or not, if they would like to record their rods or record of duty status, and how they would like to record that. Do they want to record it electronically with an electronic logging device, or do they want to go back to paper logs? That's the difference. And it's just a choice. And it's not this isn't an industry-wide thing. This isn't a matter that it's going to come through and we're changing the law. See, that's where I've seen that come through a few of our emails and stuff, and they have said that they're doing this. They're trying to remove ELDs. No, it's not a removal. No. This is a choice, and this is not a rewrite of the law that would require an act of Congress. This is an exemption. This is an exemption from the law, which that same law allows the FMCSA to grant an exemption. But they are allowing a comment period to hear what the rest of the industry has to say about this. If it is an okay thing to grant everybody this exemption or not. So this is where, this isn't an industry-wide. This is for FOPT and the members of FOPT. There are other people, it does say in there, others that would like to be a part of it. So it's one of those things to where that it's a choice that's given. Me personally, I will probably stay on the ELD. I'm not going to lie, but this is the thing. Trucking isn't just about what I want. Trucking is about what everybody wants, and giving everybody the opportunity to be able to do what it is and how they would like to do it. I know there are some people that love paper, they miss paper. There are some people that love ELDs, and they want to stay on ELDs. And you know what? If they're a carrier that wants to do that, by all means. But let's remove this baloney of that you have to be mandated to something, which then with that action, you allow the ELD providers, if there's a limited number of them, they can continually raise the cost on these carriers. And this is a continuation of, and we have seen it as we see these lists go of where this ELD provider got removed, this ELD provider got removed, and you're seeing that list of approved ELD providers shrink.
Cost is going up.
You're also seeing a cost correlation of an
Yep.
increase. Okay, that is not okay to us because small mom and pop businesses, small mom and pop carriers, you have to make sure that you are going through and that they are able to be as profitable as possible. And when we are seeing cost go up on these things, and I understand this is not the only cost that has went up, because I'm sure somebody's going to come at me with that. Well, why are we doing this and why aren't we doing something else? Okay, you have to pick somewhere to start.
This is our starting
and this
point.
is just where
Exactly.
we pick to start.
Exactly.
Okay, I will say this, as far as one thing to help people with cost, I'm going to say it right now. T-Mobile, they reached out to us. We literally just today confirmed all this in, got it in. I just released it a couple of minutes ago on our TikTok. That video will also be going out on the Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. That another way to help drive the cost down for truck drivers and small carriers is T-Mobile reached out to us. Now, I also want to reiterate this. We are not getting any kickback.
Not at all.
There is no percentage to us. We get no money from this. And once again, our members are able to use this. There is a discount code that we give to our members to help this with the cost, but it lowers your cost with that discount code. Okay? And once again, there is no other thing coming to us other than the fact that you join the FOPT as a free member and you get to take advantage of cost savings through T-Mobile.
Now, I want us to.
That's all it amounts to. It's something for truckers and carriers.
To hold that thought for a minute, because we're going to come back around to that, because we need to talk about how organizations, the way the ones today operate by making you charge a fee, but tell you what, we're going to give you this, and
we really don't even need it. We don't need to do that, though. We really don't, because everybody knows OIDA, ATA, TNOOA, SPTC.
No, what I'm talking about is we're doing this for absolutely nothing, folks. Your membership with us,
that's what I mean.
Is nothing.
It's a free membership, and you just get discount. So this is a way that we're driving those costs down for small carriers, which is what I was.
I got you.
This is another way for us to help drive those costs down. So this is a second step that we've taken. Now, I will tell you, we really wasn't planning on this second step. But when T-Mobile reached out to me and they offered this up, I grabbed at it, sat down. It's been in the works for a few weeks now, going back and forth on how we were going to try to implement this, what we were going to do, being able to get time to talk with the sales ladies and stuff like that. And we just finished it up today. So, but this is another way that we're driving costs down. And that's the whole reason for this FMCSA exemption, is we're trying to help bring those costs down for truck drivers. And
we need to remember too that this is America, folks. Whether anybody wants to recognize, this isn't China, this isn't a communist nation, this isn't a dictatorship. Whether it doesn't matter what Washington says, we're still Americans, still a republic. We still have the right to choose, and by law, federally regulated since 1968-69. By law, we have, as consumers, no matter how you want to spin it and how you want to attach it, as people in this country, we have the right to choose between any product deemed safe by our government. Now, if you go to the regulations and you read them properly, FMCSA, Department of Transportation, left the door open. They put ELDs in a truck, and they stated that you must still maintain paper logs in the truck. By stating this, by making this statement and putting it in their regulations, they are telling you that paper log is just as legal as that ELD is. By saying that, whether they said it in writing or not, by saying that, now you have a choice of two safe products to use as an owner-operator, as a small carrier, as a large fleet carrier. You have two products. Now they can put that they can put that stop on it, and they can say this is only for emergency purposes. But the truth is, by allowing it to remain as a tool, they have allowed it in the safety corridor, and because it's in the safety corridor, we are and do have the right to choose which product we use. Now, as Mike just said, and I'm going to reiterate this again, this is going to drive ELD costs down, not up, down, because now they're going to be in competition with that $7 logbook. So it's going to drive it down. Not only that, but for an owner-operator, single owner-operator, the cost savings yearly is approximately $1,000 to $1,100 a year in savings. The lifetime of a truck driver, you could be talking to $25,000 savings. And whether you guys, I know that things are expensive right now, but $25,000 is almost half or 3/4 of a new engine rebuild. Is 25, 4 sets of drive tires for their truck. This is mechanic work on their rigs. And which are all truly safety functions. These are safety features on a truck that you drive next to on a daily basis. So here's the option. You have a choice of that truck driver investing the money for a ELD, which literally micromanages a driver down to the second on some of these ELDs. You can put that in their truck, or they can have brand new steer tires on their truck that you don't have to worry about blowing out as you're driving by, because the tread depth is so low and the truck driver can't afford it. This is the safety issue. Choice is the bottom line, but safety. Come on, the numbers don't lie.
Well, the other thing of it is, on the safety side of it, was this. When the ELD got pushed down our throat, what did they say? Is it something like, mid-20s? It was going to save this many lives every year? We've talked about it in another podcast. Ever since it's went in, the numbers have went up. Increase in the number of fatalities that have happened every year.
We just got an inch.
Except for 1 year, and that was during COVID.
We just got just got that email.
So the ELD obviously did not do what it was going to promise to do.
Well, we just got that email.
They promised all of us and blew smoke and skittles up our skirts and said, you know what? This is going to save everybody. This is going to drive down the deaths are going to stop. The fatalities are going to stop. The accidents are going to stop. Everybody's going to be safer if we do this. And then guess what happened? They kept going up and up and up. If you look at it, the correlation that I see, and this is my opinion, I'm going to not state this as fact, but this is my opinion. The correlation that I see is that the more cars are on the road and the more you're requiring the trucks to be around those cars, the more accidents happen. If you go back and look, when there was the availability to run paper and the availability to be off the road during those traffic jams and high traffic times, there was a correlation to lowering those numbers, and we were able to do it easier and better with the e-log, or with the paper, than we were the
only
e-log.
way the e-log.
And I don't know exactly what happened there with the e-log and when that came in, of why that changed that time frame around. But if you look at it, for some reason there were more drivers running at night and running during the times when the high traffic patterns were happening. Like during morning and evening rush hour times, there were less trucks on the roads during them. And what the reason being is because, let's be honest. I mean, Matt, when we're running through high traffic areas during these morning and evening rush hour times, how many times when you look down and you see somebody, they got their cell phone in their hand, not paying attention? Or you see them up in front and they're doing this number as they go down the road.
We see that quite often.
Looking like a fish swimming in the water. Okay, and then you can also look and see a lot of times, especially in the morning or of an evening when it gets a little darker, you see that light, that cell phone screen light.
And you can see it clear as day.
You know, whether you see it just
lights,
kind of down this
the
way
whole interior of the car,
or they got it up on their phone. Exactly. And it's like, and so when you look at this, when you got that many people out there not paying attention when they're driving down the road, and then they're cutting semis off, because let's be honest here. I drive through and I try to keep a good following distance to where that I can stop properly. And I don't know how many, it's almost like it's an invitation for every car and a lot of truck drivers to sneak. It's like, dude, just because you can fit your truck in there, just, when I'm driving 45 and I'm keeping that gap there, so in case if these, morons up here do what they do, and I try, and then you cut in, like, I want to ask these people, do you act like this when you go to the grocery store and cut in line? I mean, is that what you do? Do you cut in line when you go to the grocery store that much? Because I'm going to say 80% of the time, I never even see a turn signal. They just come over.
That's completely done.
I mean, it's the same way with being in the grocery store. When you're standing there with your buggy and you're waiting to cash out with your groceries, and, I mean, I guess maybe that means if I don't want to wait my turn, I can just cut in front of somebody in line, right? I mean, I got a feeling somebody's going to have something to say about it. I really do know that.
Yeah, but wait
I mean, I don't see myself ever
with a vehicle, though, who's going to, what are you going to say to a vehicle that cuts you off, middle of the street doing 55 miles an hour? The only thing you can do is cuss and scream in the truck and lock the brakes down, and, you ain't using a bathroom for the next 10 hours because it's already in the floor. But what? I want us to dive into this in just a second. And before we go any further, we have a new segment to our podcast. One of those segments, and we do a little bit of these from time to time, but one of the new segments we're throwing in is to throw out a trucker tool, a little hello to the people that make it, and appreciation from us. A little thank you, so to speak, a little promo for them, because they're great tools for us out here on the road. And, one of the things that Mike and I talked about, and I'm going to let him take away here in just a minute, is ELD providers. ELD providers, we know, as we said, that the list is getting smaller, but one of the ELD providers that Mike himself uses, he talks highly about, and I'm going to give him the floor here for the next minute. We're going to, give a little shout out to them. So, Mike, it's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, as far as from what I have seen throughout the industry and stuff, as far as if you run ag exempt like I do, Road Ready Solutions has probably one of the best logging systems for hours of service under ag exempt. They work great under the rest of the ELD requirements, whether you're doing ag exempt or not. But they work directly with freights and owner operators. Their devices are, always installed correctly and calibrated. If not, I do know a couple clicks on the ELD email and away you go. Dion, that's over there, he's absolutely phenomenal with getting things fixed up. If he can't, I've never ran into that, but if he can't, it usually wouldn't be too long. And Ernie's great over there as well. But I mean, from the diagnostics to the troubleshooting, the driver education, they definitely bridge the gap very well between, hardware and being on the highway. So, they've never ever been anywhere near close to being on that list of being removed as an ELD provider. So, go check out Road Ready Solutions if you're a carrier. I do know they offer many different plans, many different features. They can handle large fleets all the way down to this. I'm a single truck owner operator, so about the smallest fleet you could get. So, but they do it both ways. So, yeah, but really good company. Go check them out. Road Ready Solutions.
We'll put a link in the bio of the podcast. If you want to go check them out, get a quote, please go do so. And again, this is just two truck drivers giving a shout out to these people. This is not, we're not getting anything out of it. We've told you many a times, we are a self-funded organization, which means our members fund our organization in anything that we do. This is not a kind of a plug. This is just a thanks. We're going to have a lot more stuff as we go along. There's a lot of products out here.
Like we say, Matt, this is just a way to educate.
That's exactly it.
It's no different than like if you go to our webpage and the trucker goodie portion up there. It's just a way for people to tell us, hey, I use these products They make my life easier as a truck driver on the road. Doesn't, company drivers, carriers alike, they all can give us the information.
Absolutely.
You do have to use them yourself. You need to be using them for some time before we're going to put them on the page, because we don't want to just put something out there that somebody bought off of Amazon 2 days ago, and they've used it for about 30 seconds, and then we turn around and, then the next thing you know, they're going, you guys really use this thing? Because it's fallen apart in the first 60 seconds that I had.
Yeah.
So, but neither here nor there.
So before we get into the big one,
you want to move into the other petition?
Not yet.
Next
Now? Hold on to that, because
you don't want to talk about
I
it
think
yet?
that one's going to take us.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, that's going to probably go for 40 minutes.
I'm saying. We're going to have some fun with that one, because there's a lot of information that our viewers, the people that are watching, the people who are listening, they actually do need to know. There's a lot of things out here going on. We're seeing, I don't know if you've seen the comments on my page, on my one video, we are getting responses from female truck drivers. We are getting responses from moms. We are getting responses from dads. We are getting a lot of responses. This is a very big topic, but I want to get into that in a minute, but I want to stay on track with a little bit about what you were saying with the vehicles on the highway, the semis versus the vehicles out here. There is a serious, I'm trying to find the right words. There is a serious increase of prejudicial enforcement going toward tractor trailers, while we're seeing very little enforcement on the side of the six-wheeler, the four-wheeler, the bike on the road. We are seeing a tremendous attack against the trucking community. Laws, violations, you name it, cell phones, and we are, if you don't know this yet, operating a commercial motor vehicle, by law, you better have a Bluetooth hands-free set inside your truck at all times. By law. That for us, that's what was I can't even remember what the fine count. I think it was almost $6,000 the last time I saw it.
The fine. Well, it's I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's up to $2,500 for the driver, and up to $10,000 for the carrier, if I remember right. The thing of it is this, though. This is where a lot of people get confused, that I see in some of the comments also there. They're like, oh, well, you should be driving down the road while you're on your phone. If the phone's up in a mount, and I'm talking on that phone with a Bluetooth, it doesn't matter where the phone is, as long as it's not in my hand. We do need to pay attention to that. The thing of it is if you're not paying attention to the phone and it's just sitting there, and you literally, it's no different than having a conversation as you're driving down the road with somebody else. If you made a phone call.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
I do see that, and I do want to, but see, the problem that happens with a lot of people is, and this is where I want to clarify this, FaceTiming is not the same.
No, it's not.
I see a lot of this FaceTime nonsense going on. And unfortunately, that FaceTime, it distracts the driver because they want to look at their children, or they want to look at grandma, or they want to look at their mom or their dad or their brother, their sister, their cousin, their best friend, whoever it is, and they want to look at them, and they want to pay attention to them, and instead of paying attention to what's going on down the road down here. And so what happens is that as they're looking down here at their FaceTime, or they're looking over here at the FaceTime, or whatever, wherever they got the phone at, their eyes are not on the road. And that's where a lot of people need to start paying attention to some of this, because I see this argument a lot of people that talk about the fact that, hey, you're doing this or you're doing that. Okay. You have to understand something. This is a hands-free device. We have a headset on. Some of them look similar to this. Some of them, where's mine at? Some of them, you'll see a lot of people, they're doing this one, the bone conduction. I will say, shocks, open comm tube, very wonderful set. It's a little expensive. It ain't one of those cheap ones you get off Amazon, but I haven't had a whole lot of problems out of it. And it works well for me, the fact that I have some hearing loss, because it is bone conduction. So it makes it a little easier for me to hear with that. little shout out to Shocks there, I guess. But anyways, people need to start paying attention to that. The second part is here, when we talk about these cars and these trucks in there, the other thing I want to bring up is that I noticed when you look at these high traffic times, whether it be morning or evening rush hour, and when you look at these urban areas, which is where you'll see your 4 and 5 lanes wide, like, I mean, we've all been to the Atlanta down there, the ATL.
Absolutely.
There's areas that are 8 lanes wide on each side.
Absolutely.
You know, you're talking 16 lanes of highway. And I understand you got to have that because there's a lot of people down there, so you need to be able to move around. The thing I look at, though, is like when you drive around the loop around Indianapolis and you see all of these trucks that are in the middle lane instead of being in the right lane. Now, I understand a lot of them, the carriers are telling them, hey, you need to be in that middle lane. You don't need to be in the right lane. It's the path of least resistance. It also causes a problem to where that there it says left lane, no trucks. So now technically we only have the right lane and the middle lane, and anybody that wants to pass should be passing on the left, correct?
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It's passing side.
Suicide.
The other side, right? Right? Yep. So if we're going to say that, why are we telling our trucks to be in the middle lane? Why are they not in that right lane where they should be? What is it? Because you're hiring drivers that can't pay attention to their mirrors?
Well, that's what it is.
Because they're too busy doom scrolling through TikTok.
Oh, that's what they're doing.
Because they can't be in the right lane. Well, I hear people say, well, people don't know how to merge on the highway. I have seen at least 6 or 7 different police officers or law enforcement officers over the last, I don't know how many years, that constantly post these videos on how to merge on the highway. And that it is not somebody's responsibility that's already on the highway to move out of your way. It is your responsibility to come up to speed and merge into traffic safely without impeding the flow of traffic.
You're not wrong.
Now, I do understand for trucks, this is one thing that you and I have talked a lot about. When it comes to the truck side of it, they don't leave a long enough entrance ramp a lot of times for us truck drivers. Because especially if you're coming up a hill and you're loaded, you're coming up weighing 75,000 pounds, we'll say, you're coming up this hill, you're not going to be going fast. Because a lot of times you're taking a curve, so you're taking that curve at 10 to 15 mile an hour, most likely. Maybe less than that, depending on your load. I mean, we all know there's different variables. Don't come at me in the comments. So, but anyways, we're taking the turn slowly, we'll say. You're taking this turn slowly. You're starting, and then you're doing slow. That truck is not going to pull that hill like a Maserati. And then when you get to the top, a lot of times you get this entrance ramp that's about 2 feet long, is what it seems like. You're lucky if it's twice the length of your truck sometimes, and then you have to try to merge into traffic. Now, so this is where we go back a lot of times. One of the things that we need to see changed. Obviously, we need to see entrance and exit ramps that are longer, that allow for proper acceleration and deceleration for semi-trucks. I understand somebody's liable to lose another freaking, 1/8 of a mile of whatever ground there. So be it. I highly doubt you're using it anyways because it's right next to the highway.
Pretty much.
Every time I drive down a highway, there's 45, 50 foot
garbage.
Garbage. What do they call that? Garbage. There you go. But what do they call it? Right of way. They call it the right of way there. So, but when you look at this, though, when you talk about that, you got all these people that are in the middle lane, and yet they drive by these signs that say "keep right except to pass."
Yeah.
If you're in the middle lane, you're not in the right lane. And don't tell me that you're following the rules, because any sign that's in white with black lettering is a regulation that must be followed. That's why the speed limit signs are in white with black lettering. If it's yellow with black lettering, it's a recommendation. And if you don't follow it, well, let's just say we all know what's going to happen. You're most likely going to wind up yourself in a ditch because you didn't follow the curves.
You and I said accountability. So let me hold people accountable right now. The fact that most people use the excuse, well, truck drivers today can't read and write English. Mike and I personally met up just north of Atlanta. just north of Atlanta. Rode together, mini convoy style, for almost 200 miles? 250?
We went all the way to Nashville.
So we went
yeah.
almost 250 miles.
Yeah.
And I'm promising you right now, our trucks are not governed. Mine nor his. That is a 70-mile-an-hour zone all the way through there, with the exception of going through Chattanooga. That is a 70-mile-an-hour zone. And we had to take left and right lanes to get by trucks that were holding the center. And most of you were white. So unless every single one of you holding that middle lane was fresh out of Russia yesterday and has never set foot on U.S. soil and doesn't know English, that excuse doesn't work.
Which you shouldn't be driving anyway. If you don't
know
English, you shouldn't be driving anyways.
This whole pointing fingers, and we do this often in this industry, where you, non-English speaking, we got to get rid of the non-English speaking. Most of you that speak English don't do what you're supposed to do on the highway either. So, if you want to set the example, lead by example. Don't point. Don't get on the wagons. Lead by example. That's all I've got to say to that one.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, is really holding ourselves accountable here. It's and this is the stuff that just drives me nuts. When it comes to the speaking English thing, and a lot of people are on this, they get on that non-domicile thing, and they bring in, they talk about like Jorge Rivera and stuff like that. I will tell you, I'm with Jorge on this one. Just a little sidebar there real quick. And I just want to say this to Congress. Can you please pull your heads out of your butts for 5 seconds? If these men and women have been here for 30 years on DACA, they haven't committed any crimes, could you just please give them their citizenship? Because that's all they want. They just want to be able to live their lives.
Exactly.
As the rest of us do. They want to be able to go to work, earn a living, take care of their family, and they don't know any other life than America. They've been here since they were 2, most likely.
Yeah.
And they've been here 30 years. They speak and read, write English. If they haven't committed any heinous crimes, I'm not talking about a traffic violation because they got a speeding ticket or accidentally rolled a stop sign. I'm talking about crimes here, not traffic violations. They haven't committed crimes. Can we please can we end this? Because then guess what? Then all of this nonsense about this non-domicile nonsense goes away. Because then the DACA recipients are no longer DACA. They're citizens of the United States. They get their citizenship. They get an actual real CDL, from the state that they live in, because they're an American citizen. And then at that point, guess what? That whole non-domicile just goes away. Because why? The people that we're talking about at that point, they're not United States citizens.
I want to take that.
They're
I want to take what you
migrants.
just said there. First of all, Sam, I know you're in the editing team. You're going to love this. Okay. Thank you for this, by the way. You've had my head on this for about 4 days now. So this right here coming up, all because of you, brother. Non-domicile. Let's look at the term non-domicile for a minute. Okay. Non-domicile basically means you have no home. No home. Basically, what it breaks down to in English is homeless. Non-domicile, homeless. If you look it up in the dictionary, it actually means you have no home. So, if that's the case, there are Americans, actual born Americans. I'm one of them, who utilizes an address and lives on the road. They don't actually have an apartment. They don't actually have a home. They love the open road. This job, this lifestyle is what they love so much that this is where they spend 99.8% of their year. They're not going to pay for an apartment or a house or a condo or any rest of that crap to never go back to. So they go to a local family member and they say, listen, I'd like to have my mail brought to here. You're in the same city, you're in the same town, whatever the case may be. It's just a matter of transferring my mail here so that I can do what I love to do. Most of us, like me, my wife will vouch for this. Mike, you and I have had this conversation. I love the open road. If I could spend 99.8% of my time on the road and swing by the towns to see my children at any given time, I would never own a single thing the rest of my life. I'm happy this way. I prefer this. So non-domicile, if you want to attack non-domicile, which is the most ridiculous freaking concept in the world, but if you want to attack that, you're attacking actual truck driving Americans who just love this lifestyle so much that they're not coming off the road. So change up your terminology there, Washington, because non-domicile, if you don't understand what that means, your education has failed you. Enough said there. Moving on. Thank you, sir. I said we were holding people accountable. I am really, and we're not even into the important part.
I get it. 100%.
We're not even into the important part yet. And old Matt here, old Northman, is getting fired up because he knows what's coming around the corner. And I know that my wife is also part of the editing team. And between Sam and my wife and our other editor, Miss Lily, between the three of them, they're about to see two of the most fired up individuals when we start getting into this next topic, which, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close to that time. We're going to do a quick break here in just a few minutes. But once we come back from break, we're really going to get into this topic. Okay? I'm asking you again, if you're watching and your children are around, and a lot of us truck drivers, my son is 13. He loves to watch stuff like this when I do it. He loves to listen to me talk. He loves to hear what's going on in the trucking community. I believe we have another little trucker coming. But if they're underage, really, I'm asking you from me and Mike, from the Federation,
This is not a conversation that they probably need to be involved
I'm asking
with.
you to ask them to either pause it, come back later, wait until you get in your truck, or wait until later when they're asleep. Please have this conversation with them on your terms, not on ours. We're going to give you some serious information on what's going on. It should not come from us. This should come from you as a parent.
This is going to be posted underneath the 18 and up club.
Yeah.
This is also going to be restricted to the 18 and up club, but also for people that could allow have, as they like to say, little pitchers have big ears. So basically meaning small children hear a lot.
So we're going to take real quick. Dude, you gave me something not a few weeks ago. They're absolutely phenomenal. Love them. I think they're the greatest thing you ever do. The scrubs. Why don't we do a little something for scrubs right now, and then we'll go to break and take 5 minutes, and we'll get into this new one.
I got you. So, look, I'm just going to tell you, if you ain't got time for a shower, but you want to feel clean, you need to go to Scrubs. They are fairly cheap. I think when I bought them, because I've known about them, they had a deal going at the time, and I want to say I got like 6 packs of like 25 or something like that, and it only cost me like $48, and they run those deals all the time. But I will say, all you have to do, if you've got a small bottle of water in the truck, you take out one sheet. The way I like to do it, I fold it in half and then fold it in half again, kind of create like a little bowl, if you will, out of it in your hand. That way I can pour the water on it without making a big mess, and it soaks it right up. You unfold it. The soap's already in there. It's a no rinse. If you have a bath towel in your truck and you have a small bottle of water, with 2 to 3 of these, you can be clean in a matter of about 10 minutes or so, depending on how long it's going to take you to scrub your body. I use them in the morning, just one at a one. After I do my crazy hair in the morning with cupcakes, I'll take one and I'll kind of just wet it down, use it on my head, scrub it out, just kind of get it myself all my face, get the body oils off my face and stuff from sleeping. I do drool sometimes. It's kind of funny. The old lady likes to make fun of me about that one. So you get those little things in your corner sometime from having a really good dream or whatever. So, is what it is. We want to remove that as well. So I'm not looking to try to go into a shipper or consignee with looking like a hot mess. But anyways, yeah, I mean, if you need something, I'm going to tell you, I was talking to a gentleman the other day and he talked about the dude wipe site and he's like, man, those things tear so bad. These things here, I use 3. That's what I use anymore. After I figured out the thing with the hair, I will use 3. I'll use 1 for my hair, my face, and kind of get down into the shoulder, chest area or whatever. I get a second one and I kind of do the rest of my body with it. And then the third one, I'll finish up what I need to with my body and I take care of my private regions. Those are last, obviously. And then just dry myself off. They are hypoallergenic. Basically, I found them because my old lady works in medical, and they work great for like complete bed baths and things of that nature. But if you have a small bottle of water, it's very quick, it's very easy. A little bit in there, scrub yourself down, and you're done. So, link we'll put that in the description as well for scrubs for you guys to be able to go check that out. It's also on our webpage. If you go into Trucker Goodies, they're in there as well. It takes you a link right over to their page. I don't know what kind of deals they run. They run deals from time to time. I know a lot of times your first time purchase is some of your best deals you get. So, but yeah, just scrubs, add a little water, wipe yourself down, dry yourself off, and you're clean. So, but, all right. Well, I guess we're going to get into the getting
you
into
know what?
it now.
Let's
we're going to get into the getting into it right now.
Before we get into it, let's take a minute here because what I want to do. Obviously, we almost got kicked off TikTok for. Let's take like 2 minutes. Let's put everything on pause. When we get back, ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm gonna early apologize because this is the topic we're about to get into is very close. It's a very personal one for me. It's a very personal one for my family. So if you start seeing me get a little hot-headed, just take it. I'm being very passionate. I'm not angry. I'm just very passionate about seeing something get done about this. And stay tuned. We're about to get hot and heavy with it. And I do mean it's going to get hot and heavy.
All right, folks, welcome back. We took a little break there. Matt had to take care of a few things that require adult supervision, if you will. But those funny things, people use. But anyways, we're going to get onto it here. We're going to get onto this petition that we have that removes the sexually dangerous persons. Basically puts a lifetime ban from obtaining or retaining a CDL once they have a felony of the sexually dangerous persons variety, let's say. Kind of got to watch what we got to say.
We got to watch our terminology, but
in the social media world, a lot of them get a little upset about it, but they are referred to in the prison system as touchers. A lot of people use the term as SA or SP that goes on, or SOs. So, anyways, Matt, I'm going to let you kind of start this off again.
Before we get started off, I want everybody to understand, again, the Federation of Professional Truckers, our logo states from our seats to every community we serve. How we happened across this, I'm going to let my buddy Mike, my brother, get into this. I want him to start it with how this actually came about. We both know this problem exists. We've seen the story, we've heard the stories, we've seen the survivors, we've talked to survivors. Babe, I'm sorry. My wife is a survivor, and she's getting around to being more vocal about this. Right now, she is right
tough.
now.
It's very tough decision.
Yeah.
It's a very, or not decision.
Right now, she is the rocket right now behind FOPT because she is doing everything in the background she can do to reach absolutely as many people as she can reach to get people to wake up and get on board with what we're about to talk about. But before we get into all of this, and this is about sexually dangerous persons obtaining or retaining a CDL, and we'll talk more about that. I want Mike, buddy, I want you to talk about how this kind of came into play leading up to our conversation, and then we'll talk about what we found, after that.
So basically, the easiest way to go about it is I was in a live with a friend of mine, and she was telling me about how she had went from being a team driver to where she's by herself, and then she had said that she doesn't get out of the truck at night, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't get out of the truck at night? I was like, she's like, at a truck stop or anything? She's like, no, once it gets dark, I don't get out of the truck. Now, I'm not discounting these fears, but what I didn't quite understand is where the fears came from, I guess. Or I guess I might also say I didn't realize how bad it was. And then when she said all of that, and I had to get off the conversation with her because I had to go get loaded, and I had I think it's like about an 8-hour ride ahead of me after that. So my head started to go. And everybody that's been on any of the podcasts knows I have ADHD. So I'm running about 8,000 trains on about 15,000 tracks all at one time. And fortunately, this one here put about 6,000 of those trains all on the same track. And I don't know why, but it just did. And so I started to research into this, and I really started to dive into it. And when you start looking at the statistics, and then you get in there and you go, okay, well, how does this happen? And so you start looking at how the law is written, and you start paying attention to where these different things go. And it's like, when you look at it and you start putting together critical thinking skills and really like diving in and dissecting this problem, it is an and then the things that we found after we put this petition together and put it out there, the things that we have heard be said in lives and comments and stuff is so disturbing to me. It is astronomically stupid how disturbing it is.
I'm agreeing with you.
And the reason being is because when you look at this, one, the only way that a person is a lifetime ban based off of being a sexually dangerous person is if currently, according to 383.51, they have to have committed the act in a commercial motor vehicle. Which means if you were to have committed any of these heinous acts previous to having a CDL, and you did them in your house or out in the woods or wherever you committed this atrocity, you could still go and obtain a CDL afterwards. After they serve their time and they get off of the probation or parole or whatever that it is that they have to do, they can still go and obtain a CDL. And then the thing of it is that's really disturbing is that when you hear people say, well, if it only happens one time, I don't want to sign a petition because, well, what if it only happens the one time? I am here to tell you it never, ever happens just once. I literally just this morning, I got up, I was in there doing my normal in the bathroom, we'll say, and I'm scrolling through, just kind of reading through the news a little bit. And right here, not too far from where I used to work, and the company I worked for, about 20 minutes down the road from them, there was a teacher that was busted for doing inappropriate things with students. And the thing of it is if you were to say it just happens once, how is it that this happened? She finally got caught, 2 students, 5 different times. So if you want to tell me that it just happens once and it's okay, you're full of shit, and I believe you condone the behavior and you think it's perfectly acceptable. I'm going to say that. Because if you can actually say that, that means you've never done the studies. That means you've never looked at any of it. Because I'm going to tell you, every single one that I read, when I went through DuckDuckGo and I went through Google, and I started pulling up news articles and this is just in the area that I live, every single one of them had done them multiple times. They had multiple counts. Multiple counts.
Criminal psychology.
If you look at one
criminal
there,
psychology.
if you look at the one that there was a comment in there from the TA, somebody had seen this happen at a TA in Hillsborough, Texas. The thing of it is, they had never been charged.
Nope.
Never had ever been charged, but they had one. They had a small child in the truck with them and had been committing these heinous, atrocious acts over and over and over again. This was the first time they got caught. How long they had been destroying that poor child, I don't remember, and I don't care to remember, because that bullshit there, I'm sorry. You cannot tell me, well, if it only happens once. Well, if it only happened one time. And don't give me this other bullshit either of where you want to turn around and say that, well, what if they're wrongfully accused? If I'm not mistaken, when I sat there and I wrote the petition, it's not about accusations. It's about felony convictions. The misdemeanor side of it, we left that up to the Secretary of Transportation on how they would like to put limitations on the CDL. Whether it be a 90-day, a 1 year, don't care. We believe felony, sexually dangerous persons that have been convicted of a felony should have a lifetime ban. And the reason being is this: when you do the other studies and you look at it, the registry that is out there, you only have to register their home and their workplace. Now, to get into the workplace side of it, I know some people have tried to say, well, if they go work for a mega carrier, the mega carrier will catch that on a background check. Sometimes. Some of them do. Some of them look at it. We also know there are carriers out there that go through and they pay their drivers like 25, 30 cents a mile. They really don't care. They can give two craps whether we see it because they can't even speak English. Some of them we see they're driving without a CDL. And that they're literally, obviously those carriers don't care who this person is, where they came from, what they've done. They don't give two shits. They would probably hire a sexually dangerous person just as fast as they would hire Charlie off the street that's got 30 years driving the truck. If you're willing to drive for that cheaper rate, they don't give two craps. And then you've literally taken somebody who has been convicted of this, and they could potentially be delivering to a school. They could be potentially delivering to across the way from a park. And the thing of it is because there's no sign on the side of the truck that says that, hey, this person is a sexually dangerous person. What it says is nothing. It says Joe Bob's Trucking with the DOT number and the city and state that they're from. Well, if they live in New York City, I mean, what is New York City now? 10 million people or something? I mean, how do you know? It might be one thing if this person, if this individual that has these charges against them, yeah, if they're working in town and it's at a factory, that factory, that you probably ought to pay attention if you live close to that factory and what's going on. And I hear people say all the time, well, people can change. And You know what? I'm not going to say that people can't change. But what I am going to say is that the likelihood of them becoming a second or third or fourth time offender in this has a higher probability than them not reoffending.
Criminal.
And this is why we have decided as a society that we are going to go through and create a registry for it, because they have one of the highest reoffenses ratings of any crime out there.
Criminals.
Go ahead, man. I probably ought to shut up now.
Thank you. And you gave me some time to breathe, and I respect. Thank you. You have my love. You know that. You gave me some time to breathe so I can make sure I do this the right way, because this, again, you know how emotional I can get over this. You can go look at my personal TikTok. This is a very important topic. And listen, there are truck stops. We saw it with the Hillsborough TA. It was an employee at TA. Knew something was off about this. Made a call to the police. They saved that little boy, or saved that child. And that's a hats off to Hillsborough, those at TA. Phenomenal job. I also want to send out personally from me, and I won't tell you what location, but there's Sapp Brothers in Nebraska. To the management there, you saved my wife's life. Long before she was my wife, but you saved my wife's life. You took the opportunity, you followed a protocol, you got 3 or 4 of your people there to get her to a safe place when the person that was torturing her was 10 feet away. So to you, thank you. Because if you hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have the most amazing wife I've got, and we wouldn't have the marriage that we got, and that's appreciated. There is a serious problem, and this isn't a judgment. This is accountability. Judgment's not mine. It's not Mike's. It's not anybody's here except for God and the judges that are put in place. Okay, that's it. Judgment doesn't belong to us. This is accountability. This is accountability for individuals who you can go through criminal psychology. And criminal psychology classifies this as a disease. A disease, most in this case, are uncurable. The ways that they do cure them are basic. It's like a medical castration, but it doesn't stop the disease. Okay, so this is not a joke. We have CDL holders that are running the roads of the United States of America. They are not just in your communities, they're in ours. Our female drivers out here, as you just heard from Mike, are scared to death to get out of their trucks. These are our sisters out here. These are the people that we're supposed to be protecting. And while we're on the protecting thing, and we're gonna go through all of this, and we may go through it more than once so that you pay attention to what you're being told. A truck driver, the responsibility of a truck driver is not to just shift gears. It's not just to turn that wheel, and it's sure as heck not to be just delivering that load that's on your truck. And if you think that that's all your responsibility as a truck driver is, you don't belong in a truck. Turn in your keys and go home. The responsibilities of a truck driver go far beyond anything that you have been taught in school, and that's a problem. You are the protectors of the highways. You are supposed to be the angels out there on the road. You see it, us, each and every one of us, me, Mike included, we can see down into every vehicle that passes us, whether it be on the passenger side and you get the passenger corner view, or whether they be on the driver's side right there on the left of you. You can see everything. You walk into a truck stop, doesn't matter what time, day or night it is, you're the eyes there. You're the eyes of the truck stop. This is what being a truck driver is all about. And if you don't understand what that is, or you don't want that responsibility, then it's time, please. I'm asking you, either accept the responsibility or step away from this. This is not just a job. It's not just a lifestyle. Your life is as valuable as that car that's parked on the side of the road and you don't know what's going on. It's as valuable as that truck driver that's broke down. It's as valuable as that teenager walking through the parking lot because she's being forced to. You're the protectors. And if you turn a blind eye to this, then you don't belong owning a CDL. You don't belong in a truck. I don't care who you think you are or how big and bad you are. The place in Texas, this instant that we're this one comment that we're talking about, that you can go look up. It's right there. The police blotter is there. This is actual factual. This was a truck stop. This was a truck driver. That truck stop down there at any given time. How do I know? I drive through that truck stop on a regular basis. I stop there for fuel every
We
time.
hung out there for a weekend.
That truck stop has always got at minimum 20 trucks in it at any given time. So 20 truck drivers didn't say a word, didn't go great, didn't do anything, didn't approach the problem. A employee from behind the desk of that truck stop, that truck driver about drove off with that child and nobody did anything. Now, I'm going to give a little bit of credit that maybe most of you were sleeping, maybe. But I walk through truck stops anytime, day or night, and most generally people are sitting in the front seat or sitting in their bunks or playing games inside or around their trucks. So somebody saw something and no truck driver did anything. And to me, that pisses me off. That takes the profession that I love and the responsibility I took on 27 years ago and flushes it down the toilet and makes me look just like you who has done nothing. That being said.
Well, you know, the thing of it is, when you think about that, when you talk about the nighttime thing, some of the research that I looked at, that's the majority of when they get out of the trucks and go to shower and do all the things. They don't do like what you or I do, where a lot of times we'll use our 30-minute break in the middle of the day or something at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon when you know showers are open. Like if they got 11 showers, you probably got 10 of them available. You know, they don't do those things. They wait until everybody, because unfortunately, that thing we talked about earlier with the ELD, and more people are running during the day and less at night. More and more of these individuals, everybody's parking at night. They're shut down. They got their curtains pulled. You know, they're hanging out. They're talking to their wives and their husbands and their kids and stuff. They're not, or making themselves dinner. A lot of guys and gals are cooking in their trucks these days. They're not doing like what we used to do. They used to stand out over the deck plate, put out your hibachi grill out there and fry you up a couple of burgers or some hot dogs. So unfortunately, with this whole ELD situation as well, it has created, I would say, less guardians of the highway and greater opportunities. Yeah, less guardians of the highway and greater opportunity for these individuals to do as they want to fucking do. And, you know, I'm going to tell you that this is where I kind of look at the, I really don't care about the professionalism side. If people want to question that about me right now, please come question me to my face about my professionalism when I get upset and talk about a topic as such. I would enjoy the conversation face to face.
I'll be right there.
I really would.
Right there.
Because I'll tell you, this nonsense has got to stop. And I what I don't quite understand is, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and they said, well, you know, a lot of people just don't want to get involved. What if that was your daughter, your son, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew, your cousin,
your wife,
your brother, your sister, your wife, your husband? I mean, it happens to everybody. It happens to everyone. These things happen. I don't give a damn who or how old or whatever. These type of things happen. There are sexually dangerous persons that prey upon people, and they don't care about what age it is. They just do.
I don't want to.
And these are the people that we want to see removed from the highways. So, and it needs to. And what I don't understand is this. The next one I don't understand is this. What I don't understand is when I go to this petition and I see 1,300 views and like 33 signatures or whatever it was. How, I have to ask you, how in the fuck can you read a petition like this and not sign it?
Yeah. It's the new social.
I don't. It boggles my mind.
And this is the problem: is we got the whole our country right now is so fucking focused on me bullshit. This me first, me. No, it's all about me. I don't care what's going on over there. It's my life. It's about me. I've got to be happy before. You know something? Let me remind you of one of the greatest teacher, no matter how you want to look at him. For me, he's my Lord and Savior. I don't really care. But he was a great teacher to everybody. Phenomenal teacher. The greatest gift a person can give is to lay their life down for another. That's the greatest. It's sacrifice with no reward. That's what being a truck driver is about. This is where people forgot. Now, on the other side of this, we have a social norm now. And I'm starting to get pissed, and I'm going to get pissed. And whoever's listening is going to deal with it. We have a social norm that it's okay for this. It's okay to hurt a child. Never been a social norm. In the history of the United States, it's never been a social norm. It's okay to hurt.
I don't think it's a social norm. I think what the social norm is this. The social norm is to stick your fucking head in the sand like an ostrich and hope to God the tiger don't eat your fucking asshole out. That's what I think the norm, or it's, I don't want to get involved, or I don't want to make waves, or I don't want to do this. The mealy mouth bullshit is what it is. Right. It's mealy mouth bullshit.
You're absolutely 100% right there.
It's cowardly fucking behavior is what it is. You can't even sign your name and say, John Smith, email johnsmith@gmail.com, and I live in freaking Columbus, Ohio, that you can't sign a petition and say that you stand against sexually dangerous persons and you want them off the road.
Right. It's 100% cowardice.
I don't fucking understand how the hell people will go through and read a freaking petition and go, I'm not.
It's cowardice. It's cowardice.
I'm not.
It's cowardice.
Like,
it's not recognition. It's not their name recognition. We don't even give a shit at this point. Let me promise everybody, we don't care if it's a federation that pushes this through. We're just the first time to do it. I don't care. Most of us in the federation don't care.
I looked it up.
We want it dealt with. There is a problem right now. You think this, I'm a joke. You think that this all is a joke. Let me promise you, go do some research. There are actual things that they have to do. County, state, federal side.
You know what? How about this? I'm going to ask this one. I want to ask OIDA. I want to ask the ATA. I want to ask the SBTC. I want to ask the TNOOA. I want to ask WeTheTruckers.com.
Yeah.
I want to ask anybody that sits on the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. I want to ask anybody that any of these advocacy groups that are out here besides us, why are you not fucking signing the petition? Is it because it's our names on it? Do you need me to rewrite the petition that says fucking WeTheTruckers.com? Do you need me to rewrite the petition that says OIDA wrote the motherfucker? Yeah. Do you need me to write it to where ATA wrote the motherfucker? What is it? What is it that we need to do to make it to where you motherfuckers will sign it?
Let's take it one step further. Where's Truckers Against Trafficking right now? This is Truckers Against Trafficking.
I don't know. I emailed them yesterday.
No.
I emailed them yesterday.
They've been tagged in Facebook. They've been tagged on frickin' on TikTok pages. They've been tagged in all of it. You guys have been tagged. You've been emailed. My own wife, a survivor of this, emailed you guys. Not a single response from Truckers Against Trafficking. Is it seriously? This is the kind of organizations you guys run on all sides. He just named them all. I can name a whole 1,000 more. Any one of you trucking associates. This is why we can't. It gets under our skin.
And you know the funny part about it is,
because you all want name recognition.
I know.
We don't care. We don't care. We just want it dealt with.
I know that most of them are watching from the outside, and that's the part that pisses me off. They're watching the lives from the outside. They're watching the videos from the outside, and instead of taking the 5 minutes, 5 seconds actually, to just sign the fucking petition, they're just going to, oh, no, that's an FOPT thing. We don't want to mess with it. Or, oh, that's a Mike Cobb, or, oh, that's a fucking Matt Kilmer thing. We don't mess with it.
Let me tell you this.
I look at it like this, and I go, I'm going to tell you, Go ahead.
I'm going to say this, and I've got
I
don't want you to shut up. I want to say this on behalf of all you women, and I'm talking about all of you that made comments and stood up on my last one of my posts on TikTok, and was able to be strong enough to step forward and say something like this happened to you. For my family and my wife, to all of you, to every last one of you, and pay attention to what I'm telling you right now, to every last one of you, if this goes unsigned by any of you, because the name on it is the Federation of Professional Truckers, and because we're different than you and we won't be like you, and you're holding back from signing something because of political reasons, namesake reasons, or whatever it is, and your name's not on that petition, I promise you at the end of 30 days, my whole mission will be make sure that every one of your organizations sinks. Because you not doing this or doing what's right because of whatever your political motivations or your personal agendas are, and not signing something to take sexually dangerous persons off of the road and out of commercial motor vehicles and ban them from a CDL from city, state, local, regional, or OTR permanently, and take the danger off the road, I will spend the rest of my career destroying your organizations from the inside out and calling you out every single day. I promise you, I will not let this go unanswered. This is not okay anymore. We have been at this for 8 solid days, pushing this. I am literally, my videos, Mike's videos, FOPT's videos on this have been all over social media. They are tagging everybody. The fact that you're allowing this is ridiculous. The fact that you won't stop one of these individuals from walking into a CDL training school where they should immediately have their license run and find out, oh, well, you know what? You're a sexually dangerous person. We can't offer you this class. You're not allowed to have a CDL. CDLA, CDLB, it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to have it. You're banned.
No commercial driver's license, lifetime.
Where they go to where they can't go to a freaking a Class 8 dealership and go buy a truck without running a background check. You're a sexually dangerous person. You're a sexually dangerous person. We can't sell you that truck because you're not allowed to drive that truck.
That's the thing.
We have people.
That. Let's talk about how easy that is. Let me talk about that. How easy that is here. So let's talk about that. How easy it is. Basically, all it requires is to be able to be an owner operator. Is they can go through, they can get that truck, and we've seen trucks on the market right now for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000.
Those aren't even dealership trucks.
This is just a truck. So I mean, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. It's $300 to get your DOT number, and once your MC comes through, okay, insurance is going to be a little bit. Do you know how many of these carriers that we see that do not have insurance, but they're still fucking driving down the road in the semi? So you can literally watch one of these people go through, spend $300 and get their DOT number, go buy the truck, buy the insurance, they get their MC number, they're out there on the fucking road, and they're, as a power only, which is a little bit cheaper insurance sometimes, go through, they're running down the road. All they got to do is to look to see where they want to go. And then the worst of it is this is a power only. They drop the trailer. So now at that point, it's a little easier to get around in a bobtail. We've all done it. We've all been there. We've all been at the truck stop or 100. Like, oh, well, they don't have a laundry facility at this truck stop, but, oh, there's a laundromat on in town there. walk inside the truck stop, you talk to him, you say, hey, you mind if I drop my trailer? I need to run to the laundromat and do a little laundry real quick. Most of the time, those folks at the counter say, yeah, that's not a problem. Thanks for letting us know. You might have to give them a tag number or something so that if somebody makes a qualm about it, they can say, no, we let that person, drop. Here's the tag number, blah, blah, blah. Now you're bobtail. Heck, bobtail cruise down almost any street. And let's be honest here. Sleepers are it's what, 72 square feet on the average sleeper truck inside there? You mean tell me that guy or that person can't park that truck and they go snatch somebody? And you wonder why we say this is such a problem and this is such a danger. Because the thing of it is that person is in that truck and they probably are on the registry because obviously they're a felon and everybody knows where they live. And if they're an owner-operator, guess what it says? It says their workplace is the same as their home because that's where they're running their business out of. So it's the same address. And now they're halfway across the country doing God knows what. And those people out there, they are none the wiser. Why? Because I have the strange suspicion that most people believe that somebody that's committed any of this atrocities on freaking women and children, that they can't hold a CDL.
Nope.
Unfortunately, they're wrong.
Extremely wrong.
Because they can hold a CDL and they can go down the road and they can do that. So for less than freaking, what would you say, Matt? Less than $7,000, $8,000? They could probably buy a truck, have the insurance and everything that they need, go down the road
facts.
for $6,000 to $7,000.
No background check when you go to a CDL school. They don't do a criminal background check most generally. It's just a school. You're just going to go to school. The only place you're gonna, the only time,
of them are only in school for 3 days.
Especially in California. So there's really nothing there. No background check when you go to buy a Class 8 vehicle or register a Class 8 vehicle. No background check. The only background check is an insurance company, and the insurance company isn't looking at criminal more than generally. They're looking at tickets, fines, things of that sort to find out how dangerous you are on the highway. And even if they came across a sexually dangerous person's background, all they're going to do is raise the premium a little bit to make a little extra money. And we know there's insurance companies like this. So they've got their insurance.
They don't do well. So that's the thing. Most of them don't do a background check. There's no
background check at all. And I'm telling you this right now. There's no background check at all to get a DOT or an MC number. All you got to do is put your company name, your name, and pay the fee. Within 24 to 48 hours, you have your MC and your DOT numbers. Within 24 to 48 hours. No background check. So they've got the truck. And trucks, let's be honest. You can go secondhand to some guy who's retired, put on a hell of a show, shake their hand, buy the truck. You already got your MC numbers. You already got your insurance. You got your CDL from the school. No background checks on any of this. And get in that truck. And let's look at county, state, and federal regulations. Okay, yes, okay. There are some regulations in place to kind of control these individuals. Most of it is probationary, which means, every 2 weeks you got to check in with your probation officer. Every 2 weeks you got to go to a therapist, whatever the case may be. That's 14 days, folks. Do you know how far Mike and I can get in 14 days in a rig? Do you know that we can go from New York State down to Florida, over to Washington, to Southern California, back to New York in 14 days? Easily in 14 days. These people, these sexually dangerous people that we're talking about, that this petition is trying to stop, not only from our community, for your community, for each and every one of your communities, to stop them from going into your communities, because all it's going to take is one trigger, folks. All you've got to go to do is read any kind of therapy, any kind of therapy books, any kind of criminal psychology book. All it's going to do is for that person to find the one trigger that they can't resist. And your child, your daughter, your son, your wife, whoever it is, goes missing. And you're not going to find them, because by the time that you realize they're missing, which could be 8 to 16 hours later, or 24 in some cases, they're 4,000 miles away. Is this what you really want in your communities? Is this what you really are willing to just shrug your shoulders and stick your freaking head in the sand and pretend doesn't exist? We're not pretending.
Oh, it exists.
We're hitting this. We're hitting this with every sledgehammer and every boulder we can hit with. And all we're doing, we're getting so minimal of a response from this. It's sickening that you're all sticking your heads in the sand. Oh, this isn't my problem. It is my problem. Well, it's your problem.
The sickening part is this. Well, hold on. This is the sickening part. I want to look this up right now. I'm going to look this up on our thing here. And I want to look this up to see exactly where we're at as far as the, let's look here. Let's see here. So that video there has, so there's 200, 300, 400, 600, 800. So we've had well over 1,200 views just on the FOPT's
counting the 5,000 that mine have seen.
Hold on. Well, that's what I was going to say. If we go to your page or my page, we're going to count in a whole bunch more. So, and I'm only going off the ones that I can see, because a couple of them, they say they're ineligible for recommendation due to the fact that, so that one had 500. That one there, same. So, yeah, we've got, double check that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So 2,600 views.
I've got almost 75.
That doesn't include
I've got almost 7,500 right now.
Yeah. Okay, so right there we go. Not to mention, when I went to the actual petition, which let's just look that up right now and see how many views we've actually had on that to see where we're at. When we've had this many views to go across this whole thing, and then you sit there and you look at it and you go, how is that even possible? How is that possible? Like, I don't understand how that's possible. Because you know what? It'd probably just be easier to look on my phone because I had it logged in here. So let's look there. Let's pull that up real quick. Let's go, my petitions. So we're currently at 72 signatures. 72. And we right now have had, we have had 3,912. 3,912 views. And we've got 72 signatures.
Let me make a statement real quick. There's 2.5, at least 2.5.
Right there. Yeah. Here, let's just look at it. Right there. 3,912 views. Yeah. Right there. And then hold on so that we can look at it. 72 signatures.
Let me make something clear.
72 signatures.
This goes out to the truck drivers. Not just the communities. The communities I'll get to next. This goes out to a truck driver, every one of you. If you're, and I know we got followers on the podcast, and I know this is going to go out to TikTok, this is going to go out to Facebook. There are sections of this that will go out there, and I hope this is one of them. You're supposed to be protectors of the road. You're the ones that aren't supposed to be sticking your heads in the dang sand. Are you really so okay with this? Are you really, in comparison, you'd rather go fight for paper logs where we've got 470 people commenting And you won't take 5 minutes to go take sexual predators out of a CDL position? You want them parked next to you? You want them parked next to your families when they're on the road? You want them parked next to your wife that's in a truck all by herself because you're on the other side of the state in a different truck? You're okay with this? Are you seriously joking? You'll fight for paper logs like it's World War II, but you won't fight for this? Is there something wrong with you? Are you so obtuse in your own head and so full of yourself?
This is what's wrong with our industry, Matt. This is what's wrong with our industry. The thing of it is it's like I was talking with my other friend Sarah there, and when she goes through and she first informed me of some of the comments that she was getting when she was trying to push our petition in the lives, and they were talking about that. Well, if it only happens one time, bullshit, right?
Yeah. Okay.
She looked at me and said, well, we shouldn't say look, but we were on the phone, and she tells me, she says, is this where trucking's at? Is this, and she's been out here over 20 years. And I look at her, and I look at it, and I go, hon, I don't know what else to tell you, other than the fact that we have a bunch of cowardly-ass fucksticks that drive trucks. And you can say I'm not professional for that statement, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you could be one of those 3,900 people that have looked at the petition and you didn't sign it, yeah, that goes out to you. It does. And you know what? Please come and look me in the eye and tell me you didn't sign it. Because I'm going to wonder if maybe somewhere in your background, you didn't commit some of these heinous acts. I'm just going to say that because I don't know anybody that can excuse that type of behavior.
I'm not excusing it.
I don't know how you excuse it. I don't know how. I don't know. And you know the worst of it is this. I look through and I see on Facebook and the news and all this stuff, and you'll see these articles about they caught this teacher doing that or this person doing this or whatever. And you will see 15,000 comments in 4 minutes about they should probably go do some lynching type behavior to that individual and all the stuff that I hear these people say, and you won't even take the 5 seconds to sign the petition. You know, I sit here and I no longer, this topic, this petition has opened my eyes so wide to the rampant problem that we have in this industry.
Yep.
We are so divided that we can't even fucking agree to sign a petition to remove these people? How in the... I don't understand how y'all sleep at night. I have no clue how you all sleep at night. How in the hell you lay your head on that pillow right there and have that going on? I mean, are we that far gone in this industry and of a society that we can't take 5 seconds to state that we back and support removing these individuals from our industry? I mean, or I have to ask, is since we've got 72 signatures of those 3,800 and so that didn't sign, is that how many of these sexually dangerous persons we have in the industry right now?
Sure makes you wonder,
they monitor things that closely that they know we're going after them, and that's why we're not signing?
Sure makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder just how many.
It makes
you wonder just how many are out here in the industry.
How many people think like this?
Yeah.
I mean, I almost wonder at this point, would this petition cripple the United States because of the amount of truck drivers it would remove?
It's a good question, isn't it?
I wonder that.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Would this petition, because we talk about shutting trucking down and how bad it would be to shut down trucking. And then when I look at this, so when you look at this and you do the math, that means we're getting one signature for every 60 views or so, somewhere on that average. One signature for every 60 views.
Use that number, break it down to truckers.
If you do the math.
Yeah.
If you do the math on that. You know what? I'm just curious of that. Because what do they say? There's 3 million truck drivers,
2.5 million truck drivers divided by 60. I don't even want to know this number. I don't even want to know this number. This is going to be disgusting. It's going to be what, 60,000?
So if you divide that, that's 42,000. No. It's almost 42,000. Right there. 25 million divided by 60. It's almost 42,000.
And you wonder, folks. You wonder why these women have to seat belt their fucking doors.
Let's think about this, though. Hold on. Well, hold on. Think about this, though. That means if 2.5 million truck drivers look at it, and we only get 42,000 signatures, because that's how many signatures we would get if we keep that same pace of 60, right? So let's do the math here. Let's take that 2.5 million and minus 42,000 from it. 2.45 million. 2.45 million truck drivers condone sexually dangerous activities. They condone persons committing sexually dangerous activities.
They condone harm.
If we can stay on that same one. They
condone harm to women and children. They condone it. There was a time. I'm going to tell you this.
My buddy Sam and I say this all the time. Prove me wrong. I hope you do.
I hope you do.
I hope you all prove me wrong. That there isn't 2.45 million truck drivers out there that condone this type of behavior.
There was a time.
Because you know what, Matt? Think about it this way. We're trying to get 100,000 signatures in 30 days. And that means even if we stay on that same math right there, the 2.5 million truck drivers view it, we'll never hit it. We'll never hit it. We'll never hit what we need to hit to get this in front of Congress, to change the U.S. code, to state that anyone that has a felony conviction and they are classified as a sexually dangerous person, that they have a lifetime ban on a CDL.
Do you understand?
If we stay on the current path,
ladies and gentlemen, do you understand this? Do you understand what he's actually saying to each and every last one of you?
Is what it does.
Do you understand now what you're allowing?
It makes me want to throw up.
What you're allowing. A truck driver drives by schools every day, hospitals, administration buildings. It drives by parks galore, camping areas, RV stations. You name it, we drive through it, by it, around it, into it. Do you understand that by not doing something as simple as putting TikTok aside for 5 minutes and stop watching a monkey fucking a football and go sign a petition to stop these people from coming into your neighborhoods? Because I'm telling you right now, they're there and they're in these semis, and it's not only taking and hurting us as an industry, but it's hurting our females out here. We have children out here in these trucks. We have families that actually travel on a regular basis that do homeschooling, that live in these trucks. You're putting them in jeopardy. You're putting your own children, your own families, everybody in jeopardy. These people are in your neighborhoods, and you don't care? There was a time we were so uptight about this that we had maps. You could pull up maps and find out where everybody was. Let me tell you what. I'm going to let you in a little secret just so you understand. That map right now, in reference to the numbers that he just gave you, almost half of those people that are registered around you aren't even in their residences. They're states away with a CDL, commercial driver's license, and a commercial motor vehicle thousands of miles away in somebody else's community. And before you sit there, because I know some of you, well, then it's not my problem. That makes you a very disgusting human being. That makes you a serious problem in not only the community that you live in, but for our community. Because we hustle, we bustle, we spend every day and night out here making sure that your family's taken care of. And the fact that you're okay with one of our own out here having to seat belt their doors closed at night. have to sleep next to next to a frickin' knife laid next to their bed, pepper spray under their pillows. If they have to, they can't even get a decent night's sleep of peace because you won't stand up and put an end to this crap. This is a serious problem. This isn't just going to go away. It's going to get worse. The numbers are going to grow. We caught it. We caught it just because we had it, because Mike had a conversation, because we decided we're going to dig into this, and we found out FMCSA's hands are tied. They can't do anything without changing the code. And no organization to date has done anything to change that code. None. The Federation picked up the ball. We are running with it. But there's no way to fix it because we need 100,000 signatures and y'all are burying your damn heads in the sand. I feel bad now. I feel sick that my wife,
I'm looking at
that
this
people
map
like
here,
my wife
I wish I could
had to
zoom out
deal with
farther.
this shit because truck drivers wouldn't stand up. And I'll tell you what, if I ever get the opportunity, my wife is strong enough to sit here and face this camera. She will tell you exactly what she told me. She's asked truck drivers for help that looked at her like she was sick in the head. She asked people at truck stops for help. They looked at her like she was sick in the head. It wasn't until she walked into a truck stop with so many bruises and so beat to hell that Sapp Brothers stood there and said, "We got you," and did something. You're cowards. You're proving you're cowards. And unless you want to prove me wrong by going to sign something and standing up, I call y'all cowards. You forgot what being a truck driver is about.
Here,
You forgot what truck driving's being about.
I want to just show this right here. Let me just show this. Let's show this right here, folks. You see that map? That's just to the Dayton area. That's to the Dayton area. That is familywatchdog.us, man.
Those are stationary, folks.
That's how many are
Those
just in the
are
Dayton area.
stationary.
That's their workplace. That's either their workplace or that is their home.
That's stationary.
It's workplace
so if they
or home.
went to a CDL school, which if you look in the Dayton area, there's quite a few in Ohio. So if they went to a CDL school and got through it and either bought or got hired on as an employee because, gosh knows, lying is the way to go anymore. And generally, you can get away with a lot of shit with lying in the United States anymore. Go look at the frickin' U.S. Senate. Any of this could happen. Though that fluctuates.
Here's an interesting fact. These are offenders by state. This is how many offenders they have in each state.
Florida's got 62,000. Georgia, 25,000. Yeah. Colorado, 12. Illinois, 36,000. Hey, folks, how many of those have CDL licenses right now and they're driving through your neighborhood in, I don't know, Oregon, Vermont, Maine? Where the sex offenders real low.
There's
North
almost
Dakota.
41,000 in Michigan. Look at that.
Yeah,
41,000.
Do you really think
Michigan.
that these people don't?
21,000.
Do you think these people aren't traveling outside state lines? Do you think that none of them have a CDL? I don't care if only 5 of them have a CDL. That's 5 in the neighborhood. But I can promise you, we've already seen it.
Look how many Texas has.
106,908 in Texas. Great state of Texas, huh?
Hey, they always say everything's bigger in Texas.
2.5 million truck drivers. We've got dozens of trucking associations, organizations, nonprofits that all say that you're about the truckers. You're about the community. You're about protecting them, doing for them, providing something better for them. None of you have stepped to the plate in 8 days. And we have tagged many of you. We have emailed more of you. And you're doing nothing because your name isn't on it, because we didn't name you specifically, because it's not your project, because of the politics behind it all. If we stand against them, that could be loss of membership. Good. You don't need them anyway. Who cares? They committed a felony against a woman or a child in a manner that should make you sick. Who would want them as members? Stand up and do something.
Oh, I know. I can tell you right now.
And Mike called you out earlier.
I can tell you right now, that is the one thing that I will.
Mike called you out earlier. I'm going to call you out again.
I will 100%. If you're a member,
I'm going to call you out again. ATA, OOIDA. Oh, yes, and the most famous, We the Truckers, where you made the statement, and I'll make it very public right now, being that we're all fired up. If you give them a raise, we'll get a better class of truckers. No, you won't. You'll just get the same sexually dangerous person, just paid better. And the fact that you, sir, you, and I'm pointing at you, so that you can make sure that I hear this loud and clear. I was told bad press is press. Don't give them any press. I don't give a shit. Bad press is bad press. You, sir, made the comment on the page after listening to me talk about how bad this is, and your name's not even on that frickin' thing. You didn't even bother. How you call yourself a leader. As long, and that goes for any of the rest of you. ATA, OOIDA, Truckers Against Trafficking. How you call yourselves leaders in this industry, and you're standing by and not doing a damn thing right now because your name's not on it, because it's not your project, because you didn't find it, whatever the case may be, makes me sick. You don't lead by example. You lead by your own personal agendas and nothing more. You got your heads in the sand, or so stuck up, the Washington, D.C.'s back door because you want to be like one of them. It's sick. It's just sick. Whether you like it or not, we told you we call you out. We're holding you accountable. We're doing it today because this is not going to be going. This is not going to be the first time. If we have to go through this next 4 or 5 times to get to 100,000 signatures, it will be FOPT leading the way. Why? Because we're not going to go to our members. We're not going to go to our damn members. We're not going to go to our members and say, support our petition and pay a membership fee, because there is no membership fee. We're not going to go to our members and say, do this for me and I'll do this for you. There's no promises here. All we're promising to do is take them off the road and protect not only our community and our women and children that are out here on our roads running commercial motor vehicles, but every community that we serve, which you all forgot about. Sorry, brother. I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to take a minute and breathe.
No. Actually, I think at this point, I'm almost to the thought right now is I think we're beating a dead horse if we go any further.
We're not going to go any further. We're going to breathe.
I'm fired up. I can keep going probably about this for the next 5 hours. But I think at this point, we probably ought to.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We probably ought to wait and do another podcast here in another couple of days or something like that. I know we've been a little lackadaisical, been doing more lives than we have been doing podcasts. And, look, you got to understand some folks. Matt drives truck, I drive truck. We're both owner-operators. It's tough for us to be able to do lives and do podcasts at the same time and drive the truck and book the loads and take care of everything else. Not to mention, I spent meeting after meeting most of this weekend here, with one like we talked about with the T-Mobile. Yeah. Getting that set up and ready to go. I'm actually going to meet to finalize our trucker relief fund. We're going to try to get started hopefully tomorrow and get that finalized up. Not to mention all the planning that we've had to put together for Matt's 2026 and being down there to help garner maybe more signatures out of people that might not have seen or heard. I don't know how by that time, but we're still going to be pushing at that. There's a lot going on. And so, we would love to do the podcast even more than we are, but at the same time, we're also doing the lives. So if the lives, though, work out a little better because you're able to actually interact with us, because most of the time, it's both of us or at least one of us that is on the live, that is either holding the live or we're sitting in on the live while the other one holds the live, however we do it.
Now,
so
I want to put
that, and it's getting later on in the night.
I want to add just one last thing. If you haven't heard of this, if for whatever reason you didn't see us on the social media, if you haven't watched this haven't heard of what's going on until you've seen this podcast, and we called you out, then I'm going to sit there and formally, I'll apologize to you, the person who didn't know this was going on. But to
the thing I'm talking about is the 3,900 views that had not signed.
To those that I will not apologize to the 3,900. I will not apologize to the ATA. I will not apologize.
Oh, and that one that and the one that you wanted to talk about with the higher wage, just so you know, I personally attached that in a comment on his Facebook. The comment's been posted on his Facebook post. So yeah, they can't say they haven't seen it.
We have
the other thing is you want to know how we know they say they can't seen it? They commented on the TikTok video that said all we got to do is pay more money.
Yeah.
Pay them more money. Pay them more money. That's all we got to do. Pay them more money. Pay them more money will remove these sexually dangerous persons from the highways. Are you out of your fucking mind, you fuckstick?
Right. Let me ask you something. This is big for both of us, and this is first podcast we've had, again, because we're both on the road. I wish we could have done the podcast mobile while him and I were running together. I think that would have been a lot of fun. And hopefully maybe one day we can kind of figure that out where we're not booted off of a live or, something of that sort. But is there a way to do something Friday, Saturday, or Sunday where we've done it? We did it once before, and I know you were on the computer, I was on the road. We had done this. It was live across all platforms. But you couldn't keep up with because I was mobile. Because I was mobile, I wasn't able to help with the comments and that thing, and do this in a full live across where we can get something up for our viewers, for our TikTok, for our Facebook, and kind of maybe do a live. You and me do a live where both of us are stationary, running off the laptops where I can be helping with the comments.
Yeah, I mean, we could do, well, we can't do it through this app that we're using here, because we use Squadcast for most of the time. I'm not sure how that works on the Restream app if we use it over there. We've only used that Restream once. Maybe
I think
twice,
I think it was the one time there. We did good.
I know we didn't notice. Yeah, we didn't do bad.
Yeah.
We just didn't. Neither one of us thought very much of it, so we kind of let it kind of go by the wayside. And I know we did one where I think I put YouTube in the window and I put TikTok in a window, and then I think you had come in on the TikTok side, and I did it I think I opened the TikTok under the FOPT, and then you come in under your personal TikTok. Right. And then I was just kind of trying to read the comments from the YouTube and stuff to you, to everybody, to kind of
because I was rolling
over there. It's a little tough. I'm going to tell you, multiple platforms, that's tough. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got the computer screen to do it here. And be able to do it. We've got the bandwidth on the internet. It's the issue of trying to keep up with all of it. If you get a whole bunch of comments going at once, and you're I'm doing this the entire time.
No. And that's what I'm saying. If I'm stationary, it would be a bigger help, and maybe we can get. Oh,
and I'm just going to say this: the comment that I just made about the fact that is he out of his mind? Yeah, I stand behind that. Call me unprofessional. I don't give a shit. I really don't at this point.
Well,
not when it comes to this topic. If
yeah.
you're going to make some dumbass statement comment like that, you deserve what you get. That's all there is to it. You don't fucking like it, come say something to me about it. I really don't care. Because I'm probably going to ignore you like
Ladies
I do
and
any
gentlemen,
other time.
we're gonna both take a breath. This is a heated topic for both of us. It's very important. Obviously, you can see that very clearly. We are not relenting. This will be a major deal for us for a time to come until we can get this through. And then we will see it through. We have other steps that we're taking as well. We'll be more up to date as we go along, what we're going to be doing there. But listen, if you can take your head out of the sand, if you can put down the phone or put away the TV for 5 minutes, if you're listening to this, pause it, whatever it takes. Change.org. The link will be in the bio for this. Go click the link. Take 5 minutes. Stand up for your families. Stand up for your communities. And if you're a truck driver, for Christ's sake, go take and be a professional trucker, and let's put an end to these people out here on our highways. Be the real protector you're supposed to be.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your effort. I'm Matt. That's Mike. I'm Northman, and that's the Cupcake Man. And we will be seeing you shortly.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks for rolling with us on the new trucking standard, brought to you by the Federation of Professional Truckers. From our seats to the nation we serve, stay safe out there and keep on trucking.